Tesla could potentially make more money from its Bitcoin investment this year than profits from electric cars in all of 2020. What's your take on that? What's your Bitcoin take, and the fact that the price can just go up or down based on a simple tweet from him?
Well, look, Elon has tons of money and he's very sophisticated. So, I don't worry that, his Bitcoin will sort of randomly go up or down. I do think people get bought into these manias who may not have as much money to spare. So I'm not bullish on Bitcoin. And, my general thought would be that, if you have less money than Elon, you should probably watch out.
Why aren't you bullish on Bitcoin?
Look, there are things we invest in society that produce output. Bitcoin happens to use a lot of energy. It happens to promote anonymous transactions. They're not reversible transactions. The Gates Foundation does a lot in terms of digital currency, but those are things where you can see who's making the transaction. So digital money is a good thing. And, there's a different approach that's local currency and attributed and, deals with all the money laundering and terrorism type regulations, and yet gives you the very the convenience and the low cost of transaction.
We have the technology to allow every financial institution on the planet to settle with every other financial institution in a compatible jurisdiction in any asset in seconds for less than a penny. Just think about this. Anyone who's made a payment knows that we're nowhere near that today. But imagine every financial institution settling with every other financial institution in seconds for less than a penny, any asset. That's fundamentally transformative. We have the technology to do it. Now we just need to figure out how to drive the adoption. And of course, there's all the challenges there's incumbents, there's regulation, there's inertia, there's there's big players who are really trying to defend, if you're one of the largest banks in the world, you want to push pause or stop on technology, because you're in the lead. So of course, you say you love technology, but obviously, you wish you could stop it.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today's video is going to be juicy. We'll be connecting dots that no one else can see. The whales have already made their move on XRP, and we just didn't notice it yet. Most times, these extremely rich and famous people try to hide their intentions, especially when it comes to the next innovative technology that could potentially make them millions, if not billions. Case in point, XRP. The top 1% already know what's happening with this crypto, but for the small-scale traders like us, we just haven't caught up with it yet. That's why you'll hear Bill stating that you shouldn't invest in Bitcoin unless you have money like Elon Musk. But if you've been in the crypto space long enough, you'll agree with me there's always a lot of hype around Bitcoin. Even now, when this coin is doing nothing but dipping further. People are still hopeful that this coin will recover. Stick around to find out more, but for now, let's roll that intro. As always, welcome back to Moneyside, your favorite crypto channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you get updates when we drop new videos. Don't forget to smash that like button, and you can always leave a question or comment in the section below. Sorry to burst your bubble, guys, but Bitcoin is not going to work, and it wasn't intended to. This coin was designed to usher in the age of crypto, and that's it. Quite frankly, this coin is overstayed in the crypto space. It's true. Now, why do I say this? Well, for starters, this coin's ecosystem isn't sustainable. And don't even get me started on its impact on the environment. Additionally, Bitcoin doesn't solve any real-life problems. As a matter of fact, this coin has been equated to an overpriced crypto on more than one occasion. This document was published from the White House, and it highlights in depth what the crypto is doing to the environment and energy. I want to draw your attention in this section of the document. It talks about cross-border payments. They also talk about how they've tried to explore how liquidity bridges will help banks in their liquidity needs. Guys, this is just the Fed talking about how they've been working with Ripple under wraps. At the end of the document highlights how liquidity bridges could help reduce the costs incurred by banks and other financial systems. And the word cross-border payments and low fees appears more than one time in this document. I don't know about you, but this is clear evidence of the government looking into XRP and Ripple for solutions. If they didn't work together before, they sure do want to partner with this company now. Unfortunately, if the U.S. doesn't jump onto this boat early enough, the BRICS nation will take charge, and trust me, that will be the end of the U.S. dollar.
So there's a lot of thoughts there. So let's start with the dollar that you say is on the verge of imploding. How far out are we from that, and what will be the catalyst, the major catalyst? There's a lot, but what is it for you?
Well, there's a guy, Jordan Peterson, he's a Canadian, and he talks about, he says, you think tough men are dangerous, and Trump was a tough man. But he says, watch what weak men will do. And this guy Biden is the worst I have ever seen. Man is senile. And today what's happening is Russia and China are now ganging up on the US. It's really a dangerous world right now. It's getting worse. So every time you interview me when Trump was in power, I was a bit optimistic. But now we have the weakest, most corrupt government. You know, what happened to Hunter Biden's laptop? If the FBI loses his laptop, there's something really sick inside this country. And so that's kind of what I gauge all my macroeconomics on, is where is Hunter Biden's laptop? I mean, how can the FBI lose it? We have no financial education in our schools. So that's what I'm concerned about. My biggest concern, Danielle, with Russia and China are ganging up on us. As we all know, America produces nothing anymore. We produce bubbles, we just blow air bubbles. So we now have this bubble in real estate and stocks and bonds. And then when Biden took the Keystone pipeline, XL pipeline off, just wiped us out here. Inflation goes up, and the average American doesn't have $1,000. 40% of Americans don't have $1,000. And so when inflation goes up, we're going to wipe out 50% of the US population. And that is when revolution starts. And so if and when, and it will come down, the stock market crashes, the 401k, the old guys like me, are toast. We don't have a retirement. Our pensions are bust. So what we have are three things: is our treasury is out of control. We've lost it. Our entitlements out of control. And now we're at war in the Defense Department. So our debt to GDP is out. So every time I talk to Danielle, I said, I wish I could have some good news. So that's why I did the tuna can to a silver eagle comparison. We're in trouble.
Since it's banned from the London Bullion Market Association, now Russia is looking to go on to its own gold standard. I think that speaks volumes. Any thoughts to that, Robert?
Yes, well, Andy Shechtman talks a lot about that. He talks about the BRICS. The BRICS nations are Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And he talks about how the Belt and Road project now is going to affect 90% of the world's population, and they'll all be on the CBDC yuan. They'll be going into Chinese crypto, not American. So the US dollar, according to this guy Andy Shechtman, is toast. And that's why it's Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. They're going to take over the world with their own gold standard.
Okay, you say that he says the US dollar will ultimately be toast, but folks listening to this are going to say, Robert, how can that be? Look at the US dollar right now. It's the best game in town. What are your thoughts on the strength of the US dollar right now? And you said at the start, you don't want to touch it. You don't want to be in cash. Tell us more about why not.
Well, I would listen to Andy Shechtman, because I tell you, man, if he doesn't convert you to the Kool-Aid of gold, nothing will. Nothing will. And that's why, as you know, I've been a gold bug since 1972. I was a Marine pilot in Vietnam, and I flew behind enemy lines to look for gold.
Put 1 and 2 together and you'll know where to put your money. As of right now, Bill is looking into cross-border transactions with Ripple, allegedly, and the U.S. government is doing the same. Could it be that they are trying to find a solution that will save the U.S. dollar from collapse? You can always let me know what you think in the comments section below. As always, do your own research and always trade safely, guys. Please keep in mind we're not a licensed financial advisor. All videos on this channel are intended for entertainment purposes only. You can always let us know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have a conversation. Thank you so very much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and please click on that subscribe button below and turn on notifications so you get informed whenever we post our amazing content. We'll look forward to seeing you on the next Money Side.